You know, I've been thinking about it, and here we've been talking about don't let the wood dry out, don't let the wood dry out, but we haven't said why. Well, that's because wood cracks when it loses water. And the whole way wood works, think about this piece of string cheese, Hagan's favorite treat, like a tree. If you could pull a tree apart, it's gonna be stringy fibers like that. Hagan, you want some more? Here. You can get really, Mama will love you for that. There you go. Okay, good boy. But that's too small to look at. So here I made a tree. Now, as opposed to string cheese, which is solid fibers, a tree has hollow fibers, like a straw. And those hollow straws bring water up and down the tree. That's how the tree lives. But anyway, when you cut the tree in half, like we did out in the field, okay, you lose straws. No. I didn't say this was an expensive example. So we're laying the log on the ground, right? The water wants to come out the ends of the straws. Ends of the straws. Excuse me, my warthog's in the way. That's why we seal the ends, okay? Think about it. As the log loses water, it's not gonna lose it through the sides of the straws. It just doesn't work that way. So we seal the ends, we're cool. Okay, then we get it back to the shop. We split it in half and we want to cut our bowl out of it. We still have the same situation in that if we let it dry too quickly, it's going to crack. That's why we rough turn the blanks. We leave them about 1.5 inches thick and then we put them in the bag to slow the loss of the water. If we do that slowly, the wood generally won't crack. However, it will warp. And that's because, think about it, if I tried to squeeze the straws this way, it's not going anywhere. If I squeeze them this way, I can crush them. So as the tree dries, these straws, these straws shrink in size. They get narrower. Okay, well, you're thinking, okay, if they all got narrower, what would happen? They'd all start falling out, right? No, that's because all the straws inside the tree are held together with something called lignum. Now, the bond between the fibers and the lignum is not perfect. So where it's the weakest, it will crack. Usually that's the pith or the outer growth rings. And what's happening, these straws are shrinking in. These are shrinking in and they're fighting and pulling. There's a crack. So that's how we get cracks. Now, we still have to worry about the water coming out, like I said, when we have the bowl blank turned. Because the way the straws run in the bowl blank, they run like this, right? Well, remember, we can't compress this way. We can compress this way. So as this dries, that bowl is going to do this. Now that is extremely important to know because that's why we leave the walls 1 inch or so thick so when it dries we have enough wood to turn. Now the only way I know to do this without getting a crack and without having to dry it is to cut the bowl very, very thin. This was done from start to finish, but look at the dynamics in it. Here's the pith all the way here. So it pulled everything down. All the straws pulled this way and pulled that way, made a peak right there, and that is butt ugly. It wants to warp in every way possible. But remember, you have to make the wood dry slowly to get a perfectly round bowl. If you don't care, you can wind up with something like this.